John 4:43. Post duos autem dies exiit inde et abiit in Galileam. And after 2 days, he went out from there and went off into Galilee. This is a wonderfully straightforward verse, and there's really not a lot to say except to note that autem here interrupts the flow a little bit. Of course, duos and dies go together. And we've got these two nice little forms, exiit and abiit, third person singular perfect active indicatives, both of them from, respectively, exire and abire. As you can see, just composite forms of the prepositions ex and ab in that familiar verb ire, eo ire, which you've known for so long, to go out of and to go away from, respectively. Might be worth reminding ourselves that inde, from thence, from that place, answers the question unde, from where, whence. Unde and inde are a useful pair to know. Exit inde et abiit. Here, of course, we've got the in plus accusative. Into. Remember, in can either mean static location within something else or motion into a space with the accusative case. First situation, we use the ablative within. In the second, the accusative within. Just a little review for you there, in case you haven't thought about that in a while. And you can see the corresponding accusative ending on Galileam here. Now, since we've got a little bit of extra time, let me take a moment to tell you all about some Latin resources that I think you would really profit from. Now, I want to mention the work of someone I'm privileged to call a friend and colleague, Dr. David Noe, who is a very talented classicist. He does both Greek and Latin, and he's an expert also on all kinds of topics relating to classical literature and the classical world, extending all the way through its reception in the Renaissance and Reformation era. And Dr. Noe has a wonderful website called latinperdiem.com, daily Latin in other words, that you ought to visit. It's not only a website, I should say, but actually a screencast in which Dr. Noe will take you through all kinds of wonderful texts, classical texts, medieval texts, and Renaissance and Reformation era texts, Christian texts of all kinds as well. And he'll take you through short excerpts from those texts. He'll do a run through a particular text for a particular number of weeks and then intersperse it with something else. And he spends time going through the grammar of every word of the sentences that you'll read in those passages. And I think it's a very helpful resource that many of you would benefit from, just to get some additional reading practice on top of the daily Vulgate, hopefully that you're following along with us. And you'll find links to other resources there. You also might want to check out Dr. Noe's Ad Nauseam podcast, which you can obtain on Apple Podcasts, and probably elsewhere. You can hear him speak with some of his friends and guests about all kinds of fun Latin topics. That's another good way to keep up your Latin skills and to draw yourself ever more deeply into the world of the classical tradition. So I would just recommend that you check out Dr. Noe's excellent contributions to the field of keeping the classical tradition alive, and subscribe to everything he does. He also produces videos on learning Greek and Latin in the first place that can be very helpful for beginners as well as people who are looking to review some of their basic grammatical instruction. So definitely check out what Dr. Noe has for you and use it to supplement the good work that you're doing along with us in our videos here.